Hi there, you guys. This is Dragon Ball and Cartoon Fan 2004 here, and I'm out here today to give you guys yet another King of the Hill list of mine. And this one will talk about what I believe are three overplayed episodes of the series. Because, yeah, just so you guys know, King of the Hill has been over for a while, and it also has been airing on the TV for a while, too. Like, to this day, Adult Swim and FXX still continue to air the show all the time, even though Adult Swim stopped airing the show for a while way back in 2018 and replaced it with the Cleveland show, but then eventually they probably got the rights to King of the Hill back from Fox, and yeah, they do continue to air the show a lot to this day. Unlike Family Guy, which I think they lost the rights to over a couple of years ago, yeah, back in September of 2021. But at least Family Guy still airs like on like certain Fox channels or whatever. But yeah, King of the Hill has been airing for years, and while it might sound like I think the show airs too much, no, I'm not annoyed by King of the Hill airing all the time because I love King of the Hill. I do enjoy watching it off the TV and all that stuff. Even though I could also watch it off Hulu, off my Nintendo Switch, and I do have a complete series King of the Hill box set. But yeah, it's still cool seeing. I still really like seeing shows I love air live on live TV. But with how long King of the Hill has been airing, of course, it's no surprise that there would be like some episodes they would overplay. Even though King of the Hill is a long series, having like 256, maybe like 259 episodes. Yeah, 259 episodes, I believe. Yeah, even though that's a lot of episodes, with how much they air the show, it makes sense for there to be some overplayed episodes. And yeah, in this video, I'll be talking about what I believe are three, maybe not some of the most overplayed episodes of the show, but definitely three episodes I do remember airing on the TV too damn much. And yeah, maybe not all these would make a top 10, like a top 10, a ranked top 10 of the most overplayed King of the Hill episodes. But maybe within my experience, yeah, I think these are definitely probably some of the most overplayed episodes of King of the Hill. So yeah, spoiler alert in case if I spoiled too much. Yeah, let's just get this list started. First episode on this list, Miss Wakefield. Yeah, the episode that made it to the bottom of the ranking I did like over a week ago that ranks the Christmas themed episodes of King of the Hill from worst to best. And I still stand by my opinion of this episode being the worst out of all of them. Not that it's a bad episode. It's a good episode. But like I said, it's nowhere near as good as it was when I was little. And yeah, why is this episode, out of all the episodes, the most overplayed Christmas episode? Why is this one the most aired one? Why? They aired this one for the Christmas season. Like Adult Swim has aired this one a lot, and the last month for the Christmas season, they aired this one twice. Like they might have aired it like 2 weekends in a row. But the Rig episode, one of my favorite episodes, and to this day still my number one favorite Christmas themed episode. That one didn't get one airing. When the fucking Miss Wakefield one gets 2 airings. How the fuck is that fair? Yeah, they've also overplayed it all other times in previous years. Like, dude, why is this episode the most aired episode of all the Christmas episodes? Especially since it's the worst and the least popular Christmas episode. Some people think it's among the worst episodes of King of the Hill, and yeah, I can see why. This episode isn't bad. It's good. It's got some good stuff in it. Like I really love Dale's subplot in this episode about him wanting to get Nancy a perfect Christmas present with the bed and breakfast and all that shit. And yeah, this is a good episode. It's got some good Christmas music in it. It's got a really funny subplot. And I also like how Miss Wakefield is voiced by the same lady who does SpongeBob's grandma. But still, this episode is definitely overplayed. Seriously, I think for the Christmas season this year, Adult Swim, they should either air this episode once for the season, or better yet, not air it at all, because this one has had its time too much on the spotlight. Yeah, maybe I think the Rig one deserves 2 airings for the Christmas season this year, especially since how little they air that one nowadays. Again, I'll say this yet again. They only aired that episode once last year, and it was during summer vacation. It wasn't even during the Christmas season or anything. They missed the chance to air that episode to overplay, to give the Miss Wakefield episode an extra airing, and certain other episodes an extra airing. Like, that's fair. Please air this episode less in the future, Adult Swim. Please. Okay, next episode on this list, Pigmalion. Okay, now this one hasn't really aired as much on the TV in recent years. Like nowadays, when it's most likely gonna come on, it's gonna come on like during the Halloween season, because this is like this episode is pretty much the closest you can get with Halloween and King of the Hill, apart from the Junie Harper episode from season 2. But yeah, I do know that like back in the day, like years before Adult Swim stopped airing the show in 2018 and replaced it with the Cleveland show, this episode was on a lot. They aired this episode a lot for years, and yeah, this one also might be another one of the most hated episodes too, like the Miss Wakefield one. Like, yeah, this one aired too much. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely better than the Miss Wakefield one. Definitely. It's got some really cool stuff in it. It has a nice dark theme to it, and it's definitely the darkest episode of King of the Hill too. And yeah, it has a cool Michael Keaton guest performance in this episode, him playing as Trip Larson, who would later play Ken in Toy Story 3, and this main character from, I believe, the McDonald's movie called The Founder from 2016. And yeah, it's also got some other pretty funny jokes in there, but still, this one's definitely overplayed. Like, seriously, why did this one air? Why is this one aired as much as it did? Why? Is someone over at Adult Swim a big Michael Keaton fan or something? Why did this one air so much? Like, oh my gosh, yeah, and this one's probably like the easiest episode to find over on YouTube. Like, I found maybe like 3 or 4 episodes that have this whole episode on YouTube. And yeah, it's pretty easy to find. Like, you could probably search up King of the Hill full episodes on the YouTube search bar, and in no time you'll probably find a full episode, a video that shows this whole episode with the old Adult Swim broadcast. And yeah, there's also other episodes talking about this episode, about how it's dark, and sharing their opinions on it and all that stuff. And yeah, if it isn't mainly because of how dark this episode is, I'm sure it's mainly because of how on it used to be all the time. Because Adult Swim used to always air this one. Thankfully, yeah, they don't really air this one as much. They don't really air this one as much anymore. Nowadays, they don't really air this one like a lot of the time, unless it's like during the Halloween season. And yeah, FX airs it more too, like more often any time of the year. But like, not as much as Adult Swim. Still not as much as Adult Swim used to air. Yeah, that's good, because while this episode's good, it's had its time too much to shine on the spotlight. And now the final episode on this list. Maybe this episode wouldn't make a top 10 most overplayed King of the Hill episodes in general, but when it comes to last year, oh yeah, I think it should definitely make the list. The final episode that's on this list is Old Glory. Yes, this episode where Bobby has to write an essay, and Bill sets up a flag. They set up a flag on Bill's yard and all that stuff. Oh my God, did they air this episode a lot last year? Like, seriously, we were staying at that hotel last year for over 7 months. They were like shoving the episode in our faces. FXX and Adult Swim, especially FXX, aired it like 7 times. Like, probably almost as like. Oh my God, this episode probably aired like even more times than, like, let's say Adult Swim skipped over the Rig episode of this show last year. Oh my God, this episode, it's a good episode, but it aired way too much last year. Seriously, they aired this episode so much to the point where they kind of ruined it for me, and to the point where I kind of hated the episode. I kind of ended up hating the episode, which, yeah, it's not a bad episode. It's a good episode, but I wouldn't put it anywhere near among the best episodes of King of the Hill. And even if this episode didn't overplay so much last year, I still wouldn't put it up there as my favorite episodes of King of the Hill. But yeah, this episode aired too much. Like, I haven't watched this episode in months because of how much they overplayed it last year. The last time I saw this episode was over 5 months ago, during August of 2023, when I saw Adult Swim, for whatever reason, decide to give the episode yet another airing, even though they just aired it again not that long ago lately. But yeah, they decided to air it again. Yeah, that was the last time I saw this episode on, and I don't remember if it was before or after Johnny Harwood died, but it was definitely around that time. And it was almost 6 months ago. And yeah, I haven't really seen the episode since. And at the time where I last saw the episode on, I wasn't even paying like full attention to it. Because yeah, it was on too much. Although I probably didn't pay full attention to that many of the scenes, apart from this one scene where Khan tries to take down a flag and Bill chases after him for it. Yeah, that's like the only scene of this episode that I've been watching for months now. Because that's a really good scene. I made that rule myself to not watch that episode up until my birthday that year. And that later like translated to not watch that episode for the rest of 2023, with the one exception of that one scene where Khan tries to take down a flag and Bill chases after him for it, screaming. Yeah, I love that scene. That's easily my favorite scene in the episode. Even though this episode isn't really among my favorite episodes of King of the Hill, that scene's definitely like one of my favorite scenes in the show, period. Scene's great. That's like the only scene from this episode that I've been watching for months. As for everything else, no. I mean, I think even though I haven't seen this episode in a while, I'd probably still rather like watch that one scene of Bill chasing Khan and Khan trying to take down the flag. I'd rather watch that one scene on loop for a little while than watch the whole episode, because that episode, oh my God, they shoved that episode in our faces too much. Yeah, maybe I'll put it on again pretty soon, but I still don't want to put it on right now. They really ruined that episode for me to the point where I kind of hate it. Now, granted, I've really been catching them overplaying this episode as much, like, for months. Even though during the last playthrough, Adult Swim did of King of the Hill, they skipped over a bunch of episodes. And yeah, that's not even just holiday-themed episodes. There's also a lot of non-holiday-themed episodes they skipped over, too. Yeah, for some reason, the flag one wasn't one of them. Why? If you skipped over all that episodes, I would think the flag one should definitely be one of the episodes to skip over, because that one aired on the TV way too much last year. And please don't air this episode as nearly as much this year. Please don't. please don't. That episode has had its time enough to shine on the spotlight. You can still air it, but please don't air it as nearly as much. Please, Adult Swim and FXX, don't air this episode as nearly as much. Please. I mean, don't people understand that this is like part of why people don't watch TV that much anymore? It's because these channels like not only tend to air the same shows all the time, but they can like shove the same episodes in our faces too much and too frequently. Like seriously, please air this episode list for this year. I hope this episode doesn't air as nearly as much this year. Like they can still air it, but please, like have it air like rather once in a while. All right, not don't shove it in our faces as much as you did last year. Okay, it's still a good episode. I'm sure I'll watch it sometime this year, but I still don't feel like watching it right now. They like overkilled us with that episode. But yeah, guys, that's my random list of 3 overplayed episodes of King of the Hill. Yeah, these all might not make a top 10 most overplayed episodes of King of the Hill, but I don't think I'd be able to make a top 10 most overplayed episodes of King of the Hill. I don't think my memory of like past past airings of King of the Hill is that good to be able to make a ranked list like that. So I thought this list would be a lot easier to do. And yeah, maybe I'll do a part 2 to this list or something. Who knows? But as of right now, these are definitely like some episodes of King of the Hill I remember airing too much. And yeah, I would like to see these episodes air less for future airings of King of the Hill. But even if they still continue to overplay more in the future, I can still just ignore them and like watch King of the Hill off my box set or online or on Hulu. But still, it really is annoying how certain episodes of the show air too much on the TV nowadays. But yeah, that's my list, you guys. And yeah, bye, and thank you all for watching this video.